Hello beautiful creatures, welcome back to Of Crafts and Curios. I am so excited today to be sharing with you the first installment of my Halloween doll series here on my channel. This is a 3-part series in which I am creating 3 iconic trick-or-treaters based on all the incredible artwork I've seen over the years of 3 trick-or-treaters that normally take place with a ghost, a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and a clown. So that's the inspo for this kind of trick-or-treat magic. I also recently discovered Joanna Parker Halloween decor. It's not available here in New Zealand, and after scouring for hours on eBay, I realized I probably can't really ship porcelain items across the world here to New Zealand. So I am going to have to make something just as vintage and whimsical as this artwork. As some of you may know, I live in New Zealand, which means it's springtime for me during October. So Halloween isn't super big down here at the bottom of the world, so I'm going to play up the whimsy, kind of vintage gothic experience of Halloween as a child that doesn't really align itself with the Samhain roots of Halloween. If you did want to check out a Samhain video here on my channel, I invite you to check out my Samhain altar doll, in which I talk about my relationship to Samhain and Halloween being different than those in the Northern Hemisphere. So for our first trick-or-treater, I'm taking a really busted Cleo Denial doll, and I'm going to be using her to create the classic Halloween sheet ghost. I know what you're thinking, how can you make a sheet ghost? It's just going to be a sheet. And I hear ya, but it's about what's on the inside that counts. So we're going to create a really gorgeous trick-or-treater out of this Cleo Denial doll. Just you wait. As always, I will be taking my acetone-based nail polish remover to remove the factory paint from the doll. And once I am happy with the removal of the paint, I'm just going to go ahead and trim off her hair as short as possible so that it makes it super easy when I go to pull the plugs through out of her head through her neck hole. Using some boiling hot water and a glass container, I'm just going to submerge the doll head in the hot water to soften up the vinyl plastic head. This will make it really easy for me to slide that head off without damaging the internal neck peg structure. Using my fine end pliers, I'm just going to go ahead and pull out any of the remaining plugs and gluiness that might be hiding inside the doll head, so that when I reroute the hair, it has plenty of room to attach to the glue. For my reroute, I'm going to be using this gorgeous blend of orange and black from Custom Doll Hair AU over on Etsy. I love their product, it's so easy to work with, and this beautiful color is called Samhain if you wanted to use it yourself. For her hairstyle, I'm gonna try do some bangs or fringe for the first time with rooted hair. I've never done this before, so it's gonna be a learning process, but I am going to try style a shorter look on this doll, as I tend to just do long and loose styles all of the time. I thought I'd try something different, and I thought that a really blunt fringe would suit that kind of vintage gothic aesthetic I want for my Halloween dolls. But we will come back to her hair after her face up is done, so I'm just gonna set the hair down in preparation. Now for her outfit, I wanted to get started prior to doing her face up because I really wanted to play around with the Halloween fabrics I'd picked up. I also am going to go ahead and change her body from a Monster High body to an Ever After High body, just because it gives me some more circumference to work with. The Monster High bodies are so tiny and thin that I feel outfits sit better on Ever After High dolls. So I went ahead and cut out my pattern. I actually end up using this apron for a different doll, but I am going hard into the candy corner fabric for this one. And I will now take delight in fast forwarding through all my hand sewing footage so that it looks like this outfit came together in a matter of seconds. So here is the base dress, just a really simple 50s kind of fit and flare dress. It's going to need some embellishments like some lace and some petticoat volume and such, so I'm going to go ahead and add those. I'm using orange tulle and lace to create a nice big puffy petticoat, just gathering that together with a little button closure, and that will make it easy to take on and off depending on how much volume I want the end result to have. Moving on to the face up, I'm gonna go for a sort of traditional gothic Halloweeny look, so a smoky eye and a kind of red orangey ombre lip into a black liner. So I hope it's gonna be super cute and stick in that kind of vintage gothic look I want to achieve. As for expression on this doll, I do want to go for a kind of dark expression, kind of like a Wednesday Addams inspired little trick-or-treating girl who looks really dark and a little bit curious and a little bit evil. So she's going to have kind of a looking up under the brow kind of look to her expression, hopefully. This is just kind of creepy. I think there's nothing creepier than a horror film where the evil thing is like an adorable little kid, like for example Trick or Treat, the Halloween film. That is one of my favorites, so that's kind of the look I want this doll to be giving. And this is her finished look. When we stand her up, you'll be able to see that kind of angle her eyesight is taking, but I'm really happy with the makeup look, which means we can move on to the insaneness of trying to cut a flat lying fringe on this doll. This is my first ever attempt at the style, so I really am just going in blind with no real idea how I'm going to do what I want to do, and sometimes that's how the best things happen. I went ahead and wet the hair so that it's a bit easier for me to work with, and I'm taking a fine-tooth comb to just separate out the strands and make a parting line where I want to cut. And then I'm just going to start longer, because you can always take away more but you can't add any more back on, and just taking it real slow to create the right kind of fringe for my doll. I wanted to give the style some volume and a bit of a flick, so I am using the straw and boiling water method to kind of act as rollers for the tiny doll head, and just using hot water and cold water to set those curls. And because I want to try my hand at a different hairstyle for myself, I am going to cut the length to sort of a long bob, shoulder lengthy bob kind of moment. I left the rollers in for a couple of hours, and when I took them out, this is the gorgeous flicked bob look I had. I was so happy until a couple hours of later passed and the bob completely fell out of curl and was just this kind of flat looking bob. But as a compromise, I said, you know what, to make her a bit more interesting, since I can't have the curl I want with this hair fiber, I'm gonna give her a little septum piercing. And she looks so cute. I think the piercing is so sweet. But yeah, I really wish the hair fiber had taken to the curling a little better. But you know, you win some, you lose some. The creative vision changes along the way. I really wanted this doll to have some stockings because I know in the northern hemisphere during Halloween it's a bit cold, so I'm taking this used mesh top that I no longer need, that's just ready as, to make these little doll size fishnet stockings. This is my first time making doll fishnets and it definitely is not going to be my last. They're so cute and oh, just on the scale they're so delightful, so I did want to add this little touch. For shoes, I'm going to be taking these Monster High shoes and repainting them to look sort of like a loafer wedge. I think they're so cute and will fit the vintage aesthetic of the doll. And with her delightful little shoes on, this is what she is looking like so far. So obviously she's party ready, but I don't know if she's trick-or-treat ready. So let's add a little ghost costume. I love when artists create Halloween trick-or-treating like designs or drawings, and it includes a sheet ghost. The sheet ghost is quintessential Halloween childhood whimsy, and I know it's not the most extravagant or exciting costume to make for a doll, but that's why I think it's so funny to make one for this scale. I think she just looks so silly and so fun, and when you see her alongside her other trick-or-treating friends, it's gonna make a lot of sense. But a trick-or-treating ghost definitely needs a treat bucket, so I'm gonna take some Sculpey and make myself 3 little trick-or-treat buckets for my 3 little trick-or-treaters. I'm gonna be using crushed aluminium foil as the internal part of the bucket so that it's not just completely Sculpey, because I find that that can get a little heavy and a little over the top on such a small scale. I then am going to go ahead and bake my really simple shape before adding details to the bucket. For my treat buckets, I want them to be jack-o'-lanterns, just staying in line with that vintage whimsy and kind of silly element that I'm going for. So to create a pumpkin, I'm just taking little noodles of Primo Sculpey and adding these to my base shape to create the ridges of the pumpkin. Using a needle, I'm going to add the jack-o'-lantern expression. Really easy and messy, as I want it to look homemade and like a fun home craft for my trick-or-treaters. And here we have my 3 treat bucket bases. Now they just need a slab of paint and some final finishing details to be transformed into treat buckets. With a slab of paint and some mica powders to add some shimmering details, I am going to go ahead and add a simple black twine strap to my doll's treat bucket and it'll be complete. Okay, is this not the silliest, cutest thing you've ever seen with this little treat bucket? Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. And of course, she doesn't need to always wear her sheet ghost outfit, hence why I haven't fixed it to the doll itself, because I do want to be able to show off all of the gorgeous details to the rest of her mischievous, whimsical look. And with that, we have reached the glamour shot portion of our video. I'm going to include lots of detail shots so you can see what exactly is hiding underneath that chic ghost costume. I am so happy with how this little doll turned out. I think she is so beautiful and her expression is so precious. She looks so mischievous and judgmental and like a little Halloween creature. So I'm so happy and excited to keep going with my trick-or-treat gothic vintage whimsical kind of series here, and I hope you guys are too. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment down below telling me what you're getting up to this Halloween. I'll be locked in still, surviving this pandemic. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, and if you're not new here, hit that bell button so you are notified when the next 2 videos drop for the series later this week. And I'll see you guys back here so soon with more crafts and more curios.